Cherubim. Angel King. Angelic beings. They all fight.
Let's go.
What the beasts of the earth. They are fighting. While the beasts of the earth still feed off the.
Let me show you something.
We can get burly remarks and dodge. You can't stay the king of the parking lot. I don't stay scared if you park a lot. Spend too much time around parks and shots at the park in the dark with the heads hang low and the primo smoke to wash out your clothes and the weed don't smoke. Does failed your test violation, probation. The case can't rest. Violation of the nation face down in this mess. Corporation motivation with the police confess. Manufacturing the product of criminals. They don't try to hide it subliminal. The products in the pocket of the prison holes, and we are the product. They sell back our souls. We earn the profits and hell as it goes. We are a populace who fell to the ghosts of the prophets. Prophets in prison unlocked. War on drugs is driving the stock. Said the war on drugs. This was driving the stock.
Let's go.
The peace of the earth still feed on the poor.
Talking in anguish, freedom and peach, man of the land, and the anguish he speaks. TV potholes, deep like Atlantis, free from the land with plans of expansion. My angle's the dankest, jammed with the rampkins, painting the mansions, smoothing the blocks, strudels a pop, move it you lost, tough sounds.
Let's go.
Let me show you something.
Don't leave me.
Let me show you something.
Don't leave me.
Let me show you something.
Don't leave me.
Let me show you something.
Don't leave
Peace
me.
of the earth still feed on the poor. Some teachers are preachers and keepers of love. While the beasts of the earth still feed off the blood. Some teachers are preachers and keepers of love. While the beasts of the earth still trample the blood. In prison projects, till prison pockets, to the prison projects, the prison pockets, the light and the might, bring a sight to the blind, spill love in the mud, clean your eyes in the shrine. Power to the people, scream and fuck all the lies, cause the prison to the people is a fucking hate crime. Sisters in the earth band together to the lies, and the truth sets us free, you are cleansed of their eyes, bring wars and greed men, fight wars for greedy men, the poor still bleeding in, the war abusing men, important preaching sin, religion buried in, the blood is deepening in, the love is creeping in. Divorce and the force is the course that we're married in, choose to refuse through the tombs of the buried men, views they confuse while they choose what they carry and proves that the truth is knows is shit will.
Leave me. Leave me. Leave me. Save me.
Why does it keep doing working now? Son of a bitch. I think it's working, guys. There's some crazy technical difficulties. Storms everywhere. My Wi-Fi's been silly. I don't know what StreamYard's doing. But thanks for joining. It looks like there's two here. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I think everything's working because I can see myself. But it's saying that I couldn't hear or do anything, but it might have been microphone things set and changed for spatials. So I don't know if you can hear me or not. That's okay. Yeah, we had a special guest coming in here today, the Glassy.ETH. I don't know if any of you guys use Clubhouse, Twitter Spaces, whatnot. We are having some, other people are having other issues due to the weather, so a few delays. So it looks like I'm going to probably bullshit with you for a little bit. And yeah, if you can, so let me know in the comments. Can you hear me? Because my shit's acting wonky. Can you hear me? I guess I could go get my other phone, and since everybody wants to be quiet, but that's all right. It's fucking storm like crazy here. I gotta break up weed to make a fucking joint for 420. So you know what? In between now and then, and while we're waiting on guests, I'm gonna go ahead and share this video. All right, Ted can hear me loud and clear. Sweet. Thank you, Ted. Hey, we got Glassy up in here. Hey, Glassy, do you want to? Nobody can hear you. I can see you. Nobody else can yet. You're down in the bottom of the in the little dashboard there, called a little hopper. Hey, look up, and it'll make me feel like you're looking up at me. Like look above your head, right? Go like that. Fucking. Now that's fucking fun. You want me to bring you in like straight away, or do you want an opportunity to share in some spaces? You know, here, I'll ask you up here so you can answer, because this is, I mean, it's fun talking down because I can see you, no one else can. And bring them in, you guys. This is Glassy. What up, Glassy? You are muted.
What's up, man?
Now you're
hello. How are you?
Well, I know we've Kara's having weather issues. It's just been, I'm having weather issues here. People can hear me now. Computer didn't want to recognize my microphone or camera. I think it was too much time in spatial yesterday, and it may have confused it.
Burned all your mic minutes.
I think so, man. And yeah, I didn't have a replenishment NFT to go ahead. You recognize that man down there, Ted Rivera from Clubhouse days? Glassy?
Hello, Ted. Always looked up to Ted.
Yeah, brilliant man. Just had an amazing phone call with him, and you'll be hearing more about it. But I was just going to throw a video on of Dabazon 3 and kill some time, but you're here now. So if you're down to start, I'm down to start asking questions.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready to rock.
Fuck yes. Let's
stay ready. You don't have to get ready, baby.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, I'm grinding up some weed for 420. We do have our AI assistant that gives us a 420 somewhere commercial and announcement, you know, little fucking CYA as well. Good thing to have. But yeah, we'll start off like I like to from the beginning, man. Who are you? And you know what got, I know there's probably a long story. Let's say, how long have you been in the crypto world?
All right. I'm Glassy Music, aka Glassy Waters. I have been, my initial introduction to crypto was coming from an economic development realm. Looking at alternative currencies at the time, things like the Rochester buck as a way to stimulate more spending of $1 locally, just to stimulate local businesses, things along those lines. I know that's not cryptocurrency, but it's very similar. That was like it's like the seed introduction to these concepts of how when you start controlling an economy, or even having a straight up dollar peg to peg for this Rochester dollar that has a unique selling proposition in the local economy, what you really can do with that. A friend of mine introduced me into Bitcoin really, really early. Didn't quite make enough of an impact on me to make a big financial investment. So that's that. I fall into that classic realm where I knew about it but didn't make a move. But either way, I got a lot more interested in it once I started learning about Ethereum and the utility side of the building. But really, the entryway into it was more from the realm of NFTs. After doing an exhaustive amount of research into music publishing, someone keyed me in to say, hey, you know what? You should look at NFTs. That might be an interesting realm for you. And I basically jumped right into the rabbit hole. That was about 2020, maybe late 2020 or so. In the Clubhouse realm, that was the early Clubhouse days.
Fucking, you can't respond to my comments if I'm muted.
That is also true.
But
I can read lips maybe in person, but over this little screen.
Well, I was gonna say, when you said you got into NFTs, so that was we recognize, because a lot of listeners here on Facebook and places we're promoting, they're fairly new with the concept of, of what the crypto industry and what that really means in its entirety, right? Which even us in there for years, it's still education and learning every single day from other super learners and superconductors in that specific niche of a niche of a niche of a niche, because it's so new. And I'm reassured that it's so detailed like that, right? There's so many people that are so brilliant, like yourself, that's in these levels of specific that really feeds to the eco community and the entire ecosystem of it in its entirety to liberate people as a whole, outside of what other agendas may be afoot.
Oh yeah,
right?
So true. It's actually one of probably the unique moments in my life, probably the unique moments in human civilization history, that we actually get that opportunity, that our personal growth and development and the cultivation of our skills and capacity actually could be connected to others in a meaningful way. That's a really big, exaggerated way to put it, but I feel like that. It feels like that. It feels like we've been so disconnected from the key resources, people, information, funding, whatever you might, tooling, right? Tools that can empower us. It was great when we could build culture and do events and do those kind of things. I mentioned architecture, or maybe I didn't. My background originally is in making music, and then went into architecture. I have a degree there. I worked as an architect in New York City for a few years, and just realized what a miserable experience that was, and then launched a fashion company. And although that was a lot more exciting, still just riddled with corruption, exploitation, destroying the planet. I don't know. I've worked with it in a lot of different industries, from building, architecture, and then into construction, economic development. Ran a digital agency for 12 years. Maybe you feel like you're destroying the planet a little bit less when you're doing designs and making creative work and video production and things along those lines. Helping launch brands, helping work with entrepreneurs is definitely something I love doing. But even through all of that, culture creation is one thing. But imagine having culture creation capability plus the economic tools. And that's the unique opportunity we have now that we really never had. We used to have raves or do kind of parties or block parties or events or giant fashion shows or whatever it might be. But we didn't ever really have an opportunity to harness the power of every transaction that we have throughout that community, much less to even be viewing it through the eyes of having a community, and that those people are actually being rewarded, being engaged, and being part of the value cycle, and not just mindless consumers at the end of a pipeline of crap that we produce that they
you
buy.
mean actually having a community, not just calling it a community?
Yeah, that too. Well, I guess you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere, I guess. And then there's always hope for change, right?
Hey, talking about community and not really embodying it is a better situation than being a mindless consumer, right? At least you're moving in the direction.
100%.
But yeah, hopefully we fully embody the not just the mindset and the ideas around it, but the actual behavior around it, which is really tying in everybody into that equity in one circumstance or another. Equity, I don't know. That's kind of a broad word to use, but we talked about equity for 2 hours this morning, and I don't think we really got to the bottom of it even after that.
Yeah, I jumped in for a little bit and then had a call back to back, and then it was the fun Friday, I guess. Seemed more like a Monday. It was pretty wild, but good things, all good things, right? And I got to put up a thing for a 5-minute warning, so you're going to give you a few more minutes to go ahead before we get interrupted. And so I've noticed in a lot of this NFT world, and there's concerns with the typical consumer, or of things that they feel uneasy about projects, right? Just the word itself, and more so these projects, we'll call it for this sake here, that are not, they're just something that people are going through and doing, and it's not really backed by anything, right? They don't have an LLC set up. They don't have anything of the basics in the business of expansion within this industry. Which category do you fall in? And then please tell us a little bit about your businesses, since I already know.
I fall in the category of I've spent a huge amount of time and energy into researching and just becoming knowledgeable around, I would consider, advanced organizational design, at least a basic understanding of how important it is for operating with specific types of entities, and the basic level. What I mean to say is the basic level of understanding of jurisdiction. So my knowledge is a lot more based in the U.S., so I can say it like that. When I say more advanced knowledge of like how to structure organizations that are based here, maybe international to some degree, definitely more limited knowledge in terms of international organizations. But I'm all about multi-tiered entity structures. I think a good, strong organization and enterprise starts with a good, strong organizational structure, which might mean you have a different entity that's doing management, a different entity that's taking in money, and a different entity that your profits are going to. Like, that would be one just tiny example, but maybe even a lot more tiers than that. Not to say you need to knock yourself out with this many layers of complexity before you even take one step. But I think you should really be considering these things as you're moving and as you're growing, that you're ready to mature your entity structure accordingly. And if you're building a balance sheet, or you're going to be moving into situations to move and deal with funders or capital raiser, I should say, if you're going to be dealing with venture capital, if you're going to be in a situation where you're looking to win grants, there's certain things that you need to accomplish on the entity structure in order to even be in line to do that. One of the programs that we're running on Moonriser, I know I'm jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say,
an 8A certification.
Do you happen to have a program or, some type of concept to collect all of this amazing knowledge that you give it back to the public in? And then you're going to talk about Moonriser. In my mind, at least, damn it, Glassy, in my mind.
Well, that's what happens. I will say there is a byproduct of spending a lot of time on Moonriser is you start tapping your brain in like a quantum. You start to become part of the quantum brain that we're all tapped into. I think it actually happens a lot with my business partner, Christina from the Continuum. She's like, Glassy, you're in my brain again. I'm like, I like hanging out there. It's a nice place to hang.
Hell yeah.
But yes, there are some programs.
For those that don't know, what is this Moonriser that you're talking
Okay, so Moonriser is a Launchpad community that I designed and have been pioneering and building brick by brick, Twitter Spaces by Twitter Spaces, conversation by conversation for the last 8 months. I think we just had number 165 episode this morning. Every day we talk for at least 2 hours. They're curated subject matter that relate to different entrepreneur type of conversations. It's really a lot of it is, I could say more broadly, it's about our collective path towards sovereignty. I could put it under that heading, but it also falls under my personal desire to bring more business acumen into Web3. I think to your point, there's a lot of Web3 founders, a lot of projects, whatever it is, that just they fly by the seat of their pants, like many entrepreneurs. Let's face it, bootstrapping entrepreneurs, loose conversations, 50-50 partnerships, whatever it is. Wild deposits, especially in the bull market. How many people did I pay that really didn't quite deliver? I don't know. Or inversely, maybe people that, they just need the education, right? It's not even about necessarily a financial exchange. It's just 100%. About their willingness to learn, and that they need to be connected to opportunities. So the idea behind Moonriser is really to reduce the barrier to entry or increase the access of entrepreneurs and startups and founders to the key resources that they need in their path toward building an enterprise.
Man, that is awesome. And then I've got a couple more.
Someone else said something. It's like the power of strategic relationships. That's something that we help reveal. We just make those connections for people. And that's why this kind of accelerator mindset goes into it. But instead of just running a program, we're looking very much towards like deals, like a deal accelerator. That if there's a deal that's needed to be made, whether it be strategic partnerships, joint ventures, whether it be capital raising or otherwise, that's what we're really keen on helping develop. Business development, say it like that, business development and partnerships. But then there's other sides that we just really want to help people. So we're building a mentorship program. I talked about it for two years. I'm like, damn it, I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to build this damn mentorship. If I got to do it myself. So we're already signing up mentors. And we have some really, really high level ones that they want to give. That's what they love. That's what part of their passion is, to give some insight and knowledge and hopefully save some headaches and heartaches along the way. Let's face it, as an entrepreneur, you're just going to have a ton of those anyway. So if we can even save a few, it's worth it.
Absolutely. And in that, we're going to come back here. We're going to do a little 420 announcement when I can find it. I'm already stoned here and lost. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that mentor, what that means to you, what you've got going on now, and then how people can get involved in that. But we'll come right back to that after this momentary break.
Hey y'all, happy 420. It is your favorite artificial assistant here. Hashtag not Snoop. Thank you for joining us in another MK Podcast with your hosts, Kenneth Queen Carr and Michael Kamp. I want to personally thank you for being here. We know you could be anywhere else, but you are here. Now that's love. I hope you have some of that sticky icky woo-wee, because it is time again to light up that doobie, rip that bond, or take a dab be-do. Remember that we grow stronger together and that we love to smoke weed every day. Much love, and this public 420 announcement was brought to you by Honeycomb Hydro. Please be advised that the content of the MK Podcast is intended for adults over the age of 21 and is for informational and educational purposes only. The information provided on this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The opinions and statements expressed on this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of the producers or affiliates of the MK Podcast. The use, possession, distribution, and cultivation of cannabis is still illegal under federal law and the laws of some states, and that is fucking ridiculous. The MK Podcast does not condone any illegal activity and encourages listeners to abide by all applicable laws. Thank you and have a blessed and lifted day. Peace.
He said peace. So that's our AI assistant. I need to adjust his disclaimers so we can put some financial advice in there as well, and get every ticker if I just checked off.
Every disclaimer.
Get
all that liability off our backs. Let us just speak freely.
ChatGPT form, write me a disclaimer for anything and everything that could ever go wrong.
All possible liabilities for any dumb stuff I might say.
I always want to we need to do that in one of the spaces. Well, where do you do your broadcasting, your promotions, and in that, what brought you there, and what do you find is the engagement outside of that place? Because
we started everything. We started
push the button.
I'll put it in the framework of we started on Clubhouse, and what a great algorithm that was. What a wonderful pinnacle moment of human civilization that was, and what a tragedy it turned into. I don't know. I can't even quite put my finger on. It's like that movie, that heist movie. You're like, I can't quite put my finger on where it went wrong. But it definitely did. Something went very wrong there.
It definitely did.
But the thing that was amazing there was discoverability. I feel like they solved it. I feel like they were listening to every single word. They had advanced AI, natural language processing, to an extreme degree, a horsepower that we've never seen before, and that they never even talked about. But I'm very confident that was behind the scenes. No strategic research done. This is 100% just a hunch. But being an operator on there for a long time, that was maybe from a lot of experience, that it seemed like all. If it looks a certain way and smells a certain way, good chance that's what's going on behind the scenes. But just the same was amazing.
I mean,
we could call out for subject matter expert. We need this. And 10 seconds later, that person is in the room that we never met before, that has exactly the answer to the question and subject matter that we were talking about for the last 10 minutes. I could pretty much make call outs and almost predict how that would happen. And it was great. No complaints there from me. All right, so then we moved over to Twitter. Clubhouse just basically had a meltdown, and went back to Twitter, and it was torture. I feel like it's not. It's been a platform without great discoverability. I will put it this way: imagine having a tsunami of algorithmic support every day. Every room you opened up, you had 500 to 1,000 people. Like, we were hitting 1,000 people plus every single day. Our club was growing 1,000 people a week. steady, sometimes more. We couldn't open up a room and have less than a few hundred people in there. And we had giant stages that worked, and we invited everyone on stage, and they would all be able to have a mic. And it was amazing because from that, we had so much participation, and we had so many people that were learning etiquette. They were learning human social skills that they never had before, because now they had to listen in order to have the right time to speak. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to be on stage. So it was like this self-fulfilling, beautiful thing that was happening.
100%.
But yeah, it all came to a cataclysmic close for whatever reason. And now we moved over to Twitter, and it's been a really slow, steady build with no algorithmic support whatsoever. Even till now, even till today, I don't think anyone new people just found it. People are only finding it because they're getting invited. So although it's slower and it's painful in that way,
100%.
it's actually revealed a superpower, because although it's forced us to pump the brakes and move slower, the relationships that have been built as a result are way stronger. Like I didn't really know that was the sliding scale that would happen. You're like, well, less exposure, we're going to slide down this way, but higher quality of each relationship, higher level operators. And what I mean by that is people with just stronger integrity and more experience and more of a willingness to collaborate and to be here for the real reason, the mission, and not just trying to chase after some clout or visibility or even information. And yes, we still want to keep giving information freely. And if anything, that's the biggest travesty, is to not have algorithmic support when it comes to giving information that's powerful, but being restricted and not being able to give that to a bigger audience because no algorithm. And we're not paying for advertising.
Exactly.
You know, we're not going that route. At least not yet. So we'll
Now,
see
you
how
under-
it goes.
You understand it very thoroughly. I remember the old Clubhouse days of, ooh, am I going to get up on the stage with Glassy? I sure hope I get up on the stage with Glassy. And then the day that it happened, you know, and people were like, oh, I seen you up there on NFT tips. And it's like, it was just.
Yeah, people really got known. Like, people really got known. There was this whole bigger force multiplier because it
100%.
wasn't about this or one thing or one person. It was like, hey, if we have a big enough stage, we could all get known. Like, people went off and launched $1 million collections over and over and over. There's so many examples of people that got known, took about 5 to 6 months, then they went off and launched a collection and broke at least 6 digits. A lot of people 7, sometimes even more than that. Like, insane.
Absolutely insane. Now with
But
this,
then now we have the breaks. We're like, and which I start getting into a conspiracy. I'm like, where are we? I keep looking. I'm like, am I just being recorded? I don't want to talk too much shit about this or that or whatever. I'm like, what's going on here?
we are being recorded, and we you know, I won't try to pull out.
No, it is what it
Glassy.
is. I mean, the reality is that every single social application and platform we have at our
It all is
disposal
recorded.
is limiting our reach. It's limiting our reach to even our own followers. It just is. Like, this isn't a conspiracy. It just is. They're advertising platforms.
We've
that
got
are
a question
disguised-
here.
They're advertising platforms that are disguised as social media platforms. I just want to get that out.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Now, Ted's
call
got
it
a
what it
question. Do you like? What do you like? How do you like Twitter Spaces?
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. I just now before coming on here, it took me 10 minutes to be allowed to get on stage and still be able to hear the host to do a podcast that I was invited into. 10 minutes. It's insane. I'm a paying customer. I'm routinely shadow banned. You can't search me, although I'm the paying customer, but you'll be able to find 6 mock imitator accounts that are pretending to be me. Come on, that's broken. It's broken.
Broken.
Scams getting promoted rampantly, broken. People's buying and selling accounts. The worst of influencers just extracting ETH out of the industry over and over and over. It's just insane. It's a shit show. It's like, besides the fact that they have so many users on Twitter, the sheer volume alone makes the gravity there so strong that it's almost like I feel forced to be there.
Yeah, I mean,
feel
I
forced
don't
to be
know
there,
the Anna. I don't know.
But I'm
the,
not
like,
super mad about it because there's a lot of really, really high level, great people there. So we deal with kind of a broken, you know, and it's like you're driving your car that breaks down every 100th mile, but hey, it still gets you those other 99 miles. So we'll deal with it breaking down like every 100th.
No,
I don't know.
100%.
I'm not saying I would actually tolerate that out of a car, and I'm not sure why we tolerate it out of a
Twitter.
platform either. But we do so far.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to build around it, though. I think we're forced to.
Agreed.
I think we're forced to, because
Agreed.
I'm not going to complain my way to success, but I could build my way there. And I could also see that out of this wealth of incredible human beings that we have access to, that we can build other types of bridges. We don't only need to rely on one company or one brand or one. I just already felt what it was like to build a club, to build a presence on a social platform. 18 months. We had the biggest club on Clubhouse, just to have that sweep the leg, gone, back to zero. But there are other people that are working on things like social graphs. And I met them in ETH Denver, a number of them. One in particular, I was like, so when are you doing the Clubhouse? When are you doing the Clubhouse one? I happen to have a ton of data over there that I really could use into a portable social graph. So that is coming our way. How long will that battle last between them and all the platforms? We'll see. But we're getting there, fam. We're getting there.
That's fucking awesome to hear. Ted says thank you. I'm stoned as fuck. We got I have a meeting that comes in at 11:45, so we still have 15 more minutes. I'm gonna run with you, and then I'm gonna throw Dabazon 3 on, because there's still 200 seeds up for grab.
Okay.
Right? And it's really easy. There's 7 celebrity, not celebrity voices. All right. And who are they? It's really simple. I'm going to, even when I go through and cut it up on this next play, I'm going to put in where the minute markers are, so the lazy people can just go listen to where the voices are when the heroes talk, because I'm there to help.
Got you.
People are having, I guess I made it, so I already know who it is, so I don't know how difficult it is not knowing.
Yeah, you have no idea what it's like to
I
walk
have no
into that
idea. I'm like, how do you not know who it is?
Come on, dude. Obviously.
I'm like, come on, guys. I had one, they said, Ellen, and I'm like, it took you, how many times did you watch it? They're like 5-6 times. I'm like, what? It's fucking Ellen. But that's knowing it's Ellen, and then when you know it's Ellen, it's fucking not Ellen,
obvious.
right?
Yeah,
when it sounds like Ellen's voice, right? They're all AI assistants, but it's little shit like that. So I was gonna fill the void. I've killed 2 more minutes in it. So I had a question about the Rebel Cartel.
Okay, great.
What is that?
So Rebel Cartel is it's a brainchild of sorts. It started as an incubator. It's been through a lot of permutations. It started like a year and a half ago, the creation of this.
What the fuck's a permutation? Are you making words up?
That's a real word, fam.
I know, it's so fun to ask silly questions. Shut up!
You're like, exactly how many of those words in your last sentence were just fabricated on the spot?
At least 20% of what you said, completely made up words. Not like made up stories, they're just not real.
Just well-placed syllables that just sound like they should be a word.
Yeah, like the stories are right. It's just all the stuff in between. It doesn't exist. Like, anywho, sorry about that. So I love a podcast, and Ted's laughing, so we understand how fun this is. And please continue on the Rebel Cartel.
Okay, so aside from using that word, what Rebel Cartel is, it's a story world project that started as an incubator. And it's been through a lot of different versions of what it could be, pivots, you could say. We launched in a stealth launch during Art Basel, not this past Art Basel, but a year previous. And the way that we launched, we wrote a story, and we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could write a story that came true? Write a story that's a fictional story, but then bring into it an experience that was in real life. You could put it as, if I had to put it simply, I would put it like that. And what we did is we wrote a story, and it was about rebels coming together and plotting out their information network so they could spread this incredibly powerful, liberating knowledge, right? It was a rebellion, but it wasn't a violent rebellion. It was a rebellion entirely based around spreading this super valuable, hyper powerful knowledge that had been hidden and kept away from the people. So what we did was, in our storyline we had that we built up, we created a number of like natural history museum style exhibits, and we turned them into AR exhibits that we sited along the shore of the Miami River. We rented 5 yachts, and we had a party where we went down. We had a parade down the river, and through people's through people's phones, they were able to, through a AR viewer, be able to see these different exhibits that were kind of citing as if, 10,000 years ago in this location, there was a temple that spawned this teacher that taught the rebel that made their way. It was like woven into the story in that way. So that was how we launched. And we're a story brand. We're a story development. We're building comics, stories, animated series. But somewhere around, I don't know, maybe 3-4 months ago, and seeing how many people are just doing the exact same thing over and over and over, I decided yet another layer to add into it as being more of a support network. What is a cartel? But it's a group of organizations. So what is my cartel? How the way that we're growing Rebel Cartel is really slow, community by community, inviting the best and brightest of different communities into the cartel so they can be representatives of their respective communities to receive access to business support and to insight, like we were talking about earlier, like how to actually build a real organizational structure, how to tap into other key resources. So as a business support, business acumen support to NFT projects, let's build more of these things into actual enterprises and not just little playthings where that floor price crashes and everyone loses all their ETH slowly. So that's what the Rebel Cartel is all about. It's about building a cultural movement that shares information, that shares great real-world experiences, and that connects people and gets them a little bit closer to their key resources and their path towards sovereignty.
That is absolutely awesome. And then we had ADHD come in here. Good morning, afternoon, whatever it may be, wherever you may be at. Moonriser Accelerator. Love to have them go over it again, but you could jump to about 15 minutes in. I think I was before the 420 announcement, so go back to the replay. You can hear all about Moonriser. Also down there it says Glassy Music. I should say on Twitter, because most of the individuals here on Facebook and at least YouTube and LinkedIn individuals will maybe have a Twitter more. At least it seems more statistically more probable, right? Facebook, a lot of users just don't have it.
Yeah, Web3 is heavy on Facebook.
Yeah, and it said, well, even with cannabis, and there's so many different things like this recording on levels. It's for those to watch and synchronicity of the worlds to be, but it's for this content to be produced on the other platforms that we're stepping into building with. And and I can't wait to bring you into the mega city on spatial.io, show you some of the playgrounds. I didn't know. I've known you on a level, and I didn't know about Rebel Cartel. And I've been so busy.
It's been kind of under wraps. We had a whole team. I mean, if you want to hear the whole story, there's like a bigger story of tragedy and triumph, that wove into it. But it started with an accelerator with literally 140 artists. Like, I'm going to run an accelerator. This is a year and a half ago. Some big projects were dropping around, like some women-led some women artist collectives that were bridging into the 100, 200, 300. They had some really successful drops. I was like, we need a big collective. Let's do a big drop. So we got 140 artists signed up for this incubator that I ran for 4 months. It was this tireless effort. And we decided, because there were so many skills represented, we decided that we would do a story world project. And collectively, bit by bit, week by week, day by day, we just spent hours, endless amount of hours, all contributing to this masterful story. But then there was just a straight up meltdown. And then people were deciding that they didn't want to be involved. And not only that their contribution to the story needed to get pulled out of the story. It was like the perfect example of complete meltdown.
Fuck. So even the
whole story, even though, I mean, let's be honest, I was the only one really there day to day to keep the story together, to bring in all these amazing pictures and twists and turns and all these things. There was clearly a huge amount of contribution from other people, right? I can't claim all of it. So at the end of the day, I could claim none of it. And we scrapped the entire thing. I rebuilt the team and remade a whole new story that instead of being in the past is in the future. Like, we rewrote the entire lore in order to deal with literally a comeback. And the artist even walked away. This is what a terrible thing to talk about on a recorded broadcast. But yeah, it was that level of a meltdown that even the artist served me. Now, mind you, I spent 3, 4, 5, 6 months with this artist, feeding them imagery, source imagery. Here, trace this, we want this kind of dragon. No, this kind of dragon, this kind of color, this kind, like so much creative direction. And he did all the artwork. We had all the assets, so many beautiful things in motion. And then he serves me with a cease and desist. The only one I've ever been served with, which I laugh about. I should, you know what I never did, because the classic move when you get a cease and desist in Web3 is to mint it right away. So I didn't do that. I still should, actually. I'm sure I have it somewhere. But I did follow his request. I removed all the artwork, and in a whopping 5 minutes, that was all gone. That was all out of the picture, out of the website, out of the Discord, out of the whatever it is. And then on it went with just a few people, a skeleton crew, to really find the essence of what we wanted to do to carry this brand forward. Mind you, at this point, we're 150K or more invested into this thing. So this isn't like this isn't just like a pastime, you could say.
It's not just
it's an expensive pastime, you could say.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, we're building this as a brand, because whether it be Web 2 or Web 3, mind you, all this time too, we haven't even opened up a mint. We have multiple contracts. We have all this other art, and then it came down to, after the heartbreak with that artist, I decided to just do the art myself. So I've been hard at work for months and months and months, to find the right direction, to find things that actually work. And now we're just starting to roll it out bit by bit, bringing people into Twitter group chats and engaging into conversations there, and inviting people into Moonriser, and finding more and more, like, what are we doing with this Rebel Cartel? What is this cartel all about? And I think at the end of the day, we still might actually build it full blown as a membership organization before we ever even sell an NFT. I'm not going to get locked into a community that gets bound by a floor price. It just doesn't make sense. We're building a story brand. We're building content and prototypes, and I should say pilots, that will be brought to Netflix and Amazon, and like real full-blown distribution. So we don't want to get hung up into like a self-limiting factor by releasing NFTs too early, even though we've paid good amount of money for having the contracts built, art built. The first one of the drops that we had done is this 3D dragon mask. Luckily, a different artist, so that artist just got paid and no cease and desist there. But we did create a series of dragon masks that are actually a full 3D file, and come with music that I created. So there's like randomized, although the artwork comes in one of 3 varieties, all the music is different. So it's kind of like generative on the music side. So that's something we'll be dropping. But the idea is we're going to do small drops of like 100 to 200 little micro collections that over time add up to a full-blown, like maybe 10K type of a collection. And we're going to do it where we use the art and inspiration from different existing collections as a way to mint like a crossover thing. So yeah, I think you get the idea. Like I made a whole batch for like MAYC. They look nothing.
Here's
like
the fun part: is that getting the idea is it's a level of mirror of purpose and passion and desire, and then it just things happen. I wasn't planning on playing Dabazon, so I take this as my first. It's the storyline of 7 of 7 stories. There's 7 stories wrote with AI. This is the first. It's got some animation in it. It's all AI created, so I don't have to fight with an artist, because I know that pain point with my own, with hero packs and all the art to it. And then the artist didn't want to let the company have the art, and then I can't have that as an asset to the company if I don't have it. Like, so I had to go redo it.
Yeah, like we're trying to build the interest. We're trying to build an enterprise here, family. Like we all have a base to play, and artists too. Like we're not trying to cut the artists out of it. Also, although it was a heartbreak, let me just say I freed up 20% of my cap table on that one cease and desist letter with 0 negotiation. It wasn't really that bad. Like I'm sorry, but it wasn't really that much of a heartbreak. It took 5 minutes to remove the artwork off the website. Like it was tragic on the one hand for the loss of time and not being able to release a collection before the bear market hit. But on the flip side, I'm more I have peace. Like I would trade any $1 million mint price during a bear market to take measured steps and build with people that I want to be around, that when the times get rough, that they're there to support me and not there to take advantage or knife in the back.
And then before I have to, is this what up, Pheno Wolf? It is at this time an NFT show, but we're not
recording this to mint it for an NFT, and that's how I perceive an NFT show. But yes, metaverse level. If you go to spatial.io, you can go to Mega City. It's been trending for the past 24 hours, and it's something that my team of me and one other person on the virtual realm, many people in the collective of it. But yeah, it's beyond an NFT aspect. You want to learn about anything NFT, crypto, any the level of blockchain, the ins, the outs, what to do, what not to do, amazing projects and campaigns and movements that produce a level. I'd like to get with you, Pheno and Wolf, on. The one I created, Hero Packs, is the first seed utility and branding aspect to a level of branding of each of your cultivars. Love to get with you, man. But yes, it is kind of like an NFT show. It's just the MK Potcast, and it's kind of like the Tom Green show, because it's his show and he could do because it is his show. But this is the MK Podcast, and we talk a lot of blockchain and NFTs because we're changing the world with it on a global scale. You'll see some stuff live of some things we're doing that we're getting into, and Twitter is where you're going to get access to a lot. But you follow me here. We've got some huge playgrounds on levels that we have a $40 million cannabis entertainment district down here in Missouri. We'll hopefully see your genetics at Mocana Cup, which has been an 8-month growing competition, which is now a 5-month campaign leading into the physical event in Missouri at the Smoky River Entertainment District, September 8th, 9th, and 10th. That will have a augmented reality, virtual reality, back and forth from metaverse to the physical place and physical place to the metaverse. And it just happens to have Riverwalk, 10,000 square foot Canna Village, and so many other things. And yes, with centralized banking out to screw us 100%, get a hold of me, man. I think I'll shoot you my phone number here, there, and all places. But before I go, my call called 10 minutes early, so they get to wait, I think, 10-minute punishment's fair. So, because I got Ted's question here. He's got an Oculus as well. I don't even have an Oculus, and I'd like you can go to spatial.io and go to the Mega City. It's trending. Go see what's been built. I'll meet you in there after the show. How do we get and join the cartel? Ted wants to know. I want in.
The best way is I'm going to add you to a Twitter group chat. We do have a Discord, but we're just building towards that. We're not even have enough people to warrant a Discord. I spend way too much time of my own on Twitter, or maybe not, maybe just enough time. But that's pretty much where the key conversations are happening. I'm just really trying to breathe life into it. If I had to be fully honest, we're very front loaded on development, creation, content, art. We have enough collections that we could drop a collection every month for the next 2 years if we wanted. Not that that would really help us or that we're going to do that, but just to say how loaded we are on content, and yet how sparse we are on really people that see and understand the vision. And without any algorithmic support on Twitter, I'm left to build infrastructure. So that's what I've been doing in one of our I'm building it like a business network. That's what it's basically evolving into. 100%. Because while I'm waiting for the right avenue to get the audience, to get a stage back and to get the audience that actually can build this into some momentum, we're building the tool in the back end. So one of my most recent partnerships is with a firm to launch a PR component for Web3 and beyond. Turnkey PR service is what we need. Twitter's going to limit our reach. That's okay. We have a lot more than Twitter. We can go direct to the internet. We can go direct to thousands of blogs and news things through PR wires and otherwise. We have ChatGPT. Come on, baby. We got APIs.
Exactly.
We are publishing and syndicating content at a level that no one could even predict, maybe even 6 months ago or a year ago, like totally blindsided. We were paying writers. We spent $500,000 paying writers from WTF just to build this little independent media outlet, paying people 30 cents a word. Oh my goodness, like what a headache that was. I'll tell you, I never had a more disloyal group than that group of writers ever. Talk a lot of shit on this podcast, but hey, it is what it is. I'm calling out zero names, but this is just the reality that when you build a culture around paying people for every word, don't be expecting or don't be surprised when they don't want to do anything else extra beyond that, what they're getting paid for.
100%.
If you have a culture of people that really love what you're doing, see the vision and contribute, don't be surprised when you build a real enterprise without having to pay for every single word out of every mouth or every word written. But now we have better tools. We have better tools to get in front of bigger audiences. We have, we're building a whole capital network. I mean, I barely talk about this in the same breath as Rebel Cartel, but we're building a whole capital network to help increase people's access. So when they reach that stage in their entrepreneurial career that they need capital, that they'll be able to get it, whether it be early stage, whether it be mid stage, whether it be you're moving it to raising literally hundreds of millions of dollars and heading towards public, that we're stacking up those kind of access points to different people, VC firms, broker dealers, etc. So, I mean, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that's going on. And when the time is right, we'll pull the trigger and we'll have like a much more of a community surge. But in the meanwhile, we'll bring people in. I don't care if I had to vet them one by one. After the Clubhouse meltdown, I was like, you know what? I don't care how long this takes. I'm going to vet every single person. There's going to be applications involved because at the end of the day, even if it took a year, 2 years, 3 years, that type of a community is going to have so much more solidarity, support, and prosperity than one that is just a rapid deployment. And hype. We got 10,000 people, and you know what comes after that? Hype, 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 hype. Fall.
Exactly. No, that's what I was going to say. It's built on the integrity level for long lasting, and that's where we're at on it. But all right, I'm gonna throw here. So I don't know if have you seen Dabazon 3 yet?
I have not.
Okay, so I submit this into whatever name you call your movie entries to be involved in your animation things for, both critiquing, and you'll see the storyline and you'll see what's missing, right? It's good. I made it. I love it. But this is on a level of education aspect that I'm kind of glad you haven't seen it, because now I've corralled you in here. The aspect of getting to know people and vetting and all that, that's what the fuck this is that we're doing, right? And that is why I love it. You'd be amazed how many say no. So in that's 3 fucking more shows, and we can be talking about all kinds, what I'm saying? We could talk here for hours. So thank you for being here. And I'm going to play Dabazon 3. It's 14 minutes. So that'll still kick us at a little over the hour show I like to get here. And you guys, if you're not already, it's Glassy Music on Twitter. That's where you're going to find him, pretty much. Like, it's that simple. You one access point to go in. There's other places it's promoted out to. You want to get in with the Glassy himself. He's on Twitter when it's working. And solutions are being created, okay? Thank you, Elongated Musk, for everything you do for us Twitter folk. But it's pretty shitty most of the time.
It is what it is. When you improve the product, and we won't speak ill of it. It's pretty much like that. Also, I'm a premium member, so you're not giving premium, left tier support. So hopefully they improve that. Maybe they won't. I probably won't, realistically. But anyway, it is what it is. I also wanted to shout out rebelcartel.io. You can check out the website there. And my studio is called Glass House Studio. The website. Yeah,
I didn't put all 3 on here. I'm like, that's gonna be so much to hit.
Oh, too many. Yeah. No, it's fine. Let's focus on Rebel Cartel. They're both of those sites are linked to each other, so you can check out Glass House from the Rebel Cartel site. You can see some of our video production work, some of our animations. And also have access to the Twitter, which is where the main action happens.
100%. Yeah, so I plan on bringing you back here, but I'm gonna go get these guys. I've made them 10 minutes past now. It's a fair tit and tat, right? I
appreciate you. It's been a wonderful combo.
Well, and here, just because most don't listen this far, or if they don't go to the end, it's so funny, right? For the few that are there. So what I'm wanting to do is a Mystery Science Theater 3000 concept. We could do it on a level where we have our video, right? Do we replace our little screens on the side here when I show and put the share screen, the video, right? What we have here, everybody else will see it as well. But that part can at least be the audio. And then on levels of us talking and the video and all that shit, it can really, if we don't want our screen, it could be on a simplistic level of the shadows of our avatar level or whatever our NFT characters are. That's sitting in the fucking theater, right? And then it's still running our same silly shit that we can record anytime we watch it, just so we can watch movies collectively, say in Discord, right? And then be able to share it on platforms of thing that is still tight community of it, but the amazing humor and the shit that when people feel comfort and comfortable around people, the magic that fucking happens, a way to promote that without infringement of who they are, everybody's feeling. And then we can get into the tokenomics and how people can make money through with, like Ted's here watching this whole time. There's levels of things for expansion upon layers of each of us builders have been building something so unique and different that works for the whole community. And it's fucking beautiful. So we can't combine all that in one fucking show. But thank you so much for joining, man. Any last words before I submit my entry into the Rebel Cartel?
Some of the initiatives that we have is moving into media, meaning providing websites that are decently trafficked, you know, moving towards 500,000 towards several million kind of unique visitors monthly. Like these are some of our targets and goals, and also working with partners that have already achieved that with these methods, like some of the PR things I was talking about, some of the automated ChatGPT placements, really extremely well-structured metadata on top of articles that are being published. So we're moving heavily into the sphere, and Moonriser.io will be a key repository for this kind of information, certainly access to all the different shows that we've done. So that's something to keep an eye on. But here's a little alpha. This definitely falls under the heading of alpha. Is there's an opportunity with some of our new partners to open up a media portal outlet with this kind of viewership focused on, and this is why I'm bringing it up, because the key subject of the day, cannabis vertical. So there's a huge opportunity right there. Even to put some of these shows out there, you know what I mean? There'll be a place for all of that.
Oh, that's so exciting.
We may even get it together and launch by 420. So that's anyway, some of the maneuvers.
We've got so much to talk about now. I mean, we did before, just stack it up here, just entire houses of fucking shit to talk about, and then you're like, oh, it's a then you look and you step back and you realize, fuck, it's a whole subdivision, and then it's the people in there, and you step back and you're like, fuck, it's galaxies colliding, all thriving for the same fucking thing.
It's like we've been flying through the galaxies for all these years, for all these time to finally collide. Like, my goodness, it's about time.
No, it's such a beautiful thing. So, all right, here's the video. This is Dabo's on 3. You guys, this is a live submission. I don't know who this is, but Martin Arellano. Did I say it right? Do you know that name? Do you see Ted's putting a name in there? I don't know what that means, Ted. Martin Arellano. It's probably important. Write that down. You're muted. I can't hear you on your natural fucking.
I said we're gonna have to take a screenshot of that. That's that sounds.
All right, wait, hold on. I got it. I'll do it right now. Screening image, boom, full screen. Why not? I look like kissy face, kind of like I'm really interested, but my lips are pursed. You're smiling like perfectly. This could be a headshot. So we did an instantaneous screenshot that doubles as a fucking possible headshot for Glassy.ETH, but you can find him on Twitter at Glassy.music. And you guys, you're going to be witness now. Oh, he says, I'm tagging dude to watch the replay. That makes fucking sense. Well, look at us. We're fucking vetting everything. No, we know because of you, Ted, it's going to probably be something pretty important. So we appreciate that. And Glassy, any last words, motto, things of advice before we play the video?
Sure. Maintain integrity at all times. The most important thing. Solidarity. Put that way higher on the list than you have it. Solidarity and integrity is the way that we can win. There's a lot of superpowers while other people are doing a bunch of bullshit. They're going to stumble and trip, and it seems like the hype and all this money and all these things that are going well, it just seems like that. It's an illusion. It's a trick. The real alpha is be a good person and be supportive and build a mastermind group around you. And with that kind of scenario, there's nothing stopping you from accomplishing things. Surrounding yourself by the right people, absolutely the most important thing you could do. So I'll just leave it at that. Stay supportive.
100%. I couldn't said anything better, so that's why I'm glad you said it. I'm so stoned. My eyes are super red. I did remember where the file was that I wanted to play. I had to remember what the hell I was going to play, and I'm like, so
I was looking for something. There was some kind of file that was going to be. Was it going to be played? Did I have to share it to someone?
Oh, but you guys, thank you for joining us here. It was another Fired Up Friday. We'll be here Monday. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Metamind Mondays is coming up at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I'll have the post out of who our guests will be, and as well for the rest of the week. So sorry, I've been busy building. You can go to spatial.io. If you don't know what that is, keep coming around. We'll have some links. There's some posts and tweets. If you don't have Twitter, it does have its shitty sides, but it is where people meet. At least
it is jam-packed with some of the most amazing humans that you'll ever meet. So
It is.
Risk versus reward, pretty much the ROI is there. Like, I'll deal with a couple crappy tools to have amazing access to people.
100%. Like it is, the level of how bad community wants that engagement and the purpose within it, and a place to kick back, relax, be themselves, truly not be it does exist. You got to wade through some shit, but not anymore. You just lean on the ones that have already waded through the shit and go and experience some things you would never fucking think possible, just like Ted here tagging Martin, and he says he's making major moves in the space. Well, to Ted, if we talked about it, you'd think we're crazy. So I'm just going to show you a video. It's an entry, a live entry to get into the Rebel Cartel, offer some things, because we've got Canna planets and 42 different planets that are decentralized levels for story aspect in cannabis. So I was kind of glad not knowing about the cartel, because I got really excited since you've been here, Glassy. So thank you for joining. Now I'm glad I just said I can focus on others, because I'm going to ask the questions. So I use this as a learning education platform for myself, because what I may interpret, it doesn't matter what's written. I want to meet the fucking person. I want to hear who they are and what the hell they're doing. So thank you for joining us, and we'll definitely bring you back whenever you want to, and coordinate some strategy in it as well. But we'll have you back here a couple times. So here's my entry, Gabazon 3. All right.
Gabazon 3. Gabazon 3. Chapter 1. Introduction. Deep in the galaxy, there existed a planet known as Gabazon 3. This planet was hidden from the rest of the galaxy, known only to a select few. It was a place of great power and untold secrets. But for the inhabitants of Gabazon 3, it was home. It was a place where the cannabis plant thrived like no other, and where the fate of the galaxy would be decided. The farm sites, an evil organization with a thirst for power and control, has set their sights on Gabazon 3 and its precious herb. They saw the cannabis as a means to an end, a tool to be exploited for their own gain. They would stop at nothing to take control of the planet, even if it meant destroying everything and everyone in their path. The Green Farmy knew that time was running out and they had to act fast. But there were those who would not stand idly by and watch their home be destroyed. Jawbreaker, a fierce dragon with a deep understanding of the plant. Hygor, a wise and powerful gorilla who had devoted his life to studying the herb. Clubdy, a renegade Black Ops agent who had found solace in the plant after years of trauma. Flo Cakes, a former sex worker turned deadly assassin who had seen the suffering of her people and dedicated her life to finding a cure through cannabis. Uncle Fester, a brilliant time-traveling barbarian/scientist who had stumbled upon Gabazon 3 during one of his journeys and had been fascinated by the plant's potential. And his mutant creation Freakazoid, who had found healing through the cannabis plant, had all come to Gabazon 3 with different agendas, but they had all been united by their love for the cannabis plant and the desire to protect it. Chapter 2. The Grain Farmy. They formed a powerful alliance known as the Grain Farmy, dedicating themselves to educating other intelligent life forms about the benefits of cannabis and to fighting against the pharmacides. They pooled their resources and knowledge, creating a formidable force that could not be defeated. Jawbreaker, as the leader of the Grain Farmy, would often be heard saying,
I will do whatever it takes to protect this planet, and this planet has the power to change the course of history for the better.
Igor would often be seen walking among his fields, talking to the plants and ensuring that they were healthy and happy.
Cannabis is a gift from the gods. I will defend it with my life.
Pubd would often say,
I've seen what the plant can do. It has the power to heal and bring peace. I will protect it at all costs.
Flow Cakes.
I've seen the suffering of my people. I will do everything in my power to find a cure for them through this plant.
Uncle Fester.
I've seen the potential of this plant. It could change the course of history. But we have to pass before the pharmaceutics destroy everything.
As they prepared for battle, the tension and fear were palpable. They knew that their fight would not be easy. But their love for the cannabis plant and determination to protect it gave them the strength to face the pharmacists head-on. The fate of Dabazon 3 and the cannabis plant hung in the balance, and the grain farming was the only hope for victory. Chapter 3. The battle begins. The grain farming's encounters with the pharmacists were intense and brutal. The pharmacists had advanced technology and weapons, but the grain farming was not to be underestimated. They had their own set of unique skills, powerful cannabis strains, and abilities that they used to their advantage. Jawbreaker, with his fire-breathing abilities, would scorch the Farmanite ships and weapons. Igor, with his immense strength, would take on multiple Farmanite soldiers at once. Pubd, with her stealth and combat skills, would take out the Farmanite's leaders and disrupt their operations. Flow Cakes, with her deadly accuracy, would take out the Farmanite's weapons from a distance. Uncle Fester, using his time-traveling abilities to gather information from the past and future to aid in the fight, and Freakazoid would use his extraordinary powers to protect the farm and the plants. As they fought, they would often be heard shouting to each other. Jawbreaker.
We have to hold them off, protect the plants at all costs.
Igor.
We will not let them take our home. We will fight until the end.
Pubd.
The day we have to take out their leaders. It's the only way to end this.
Flow Cakes.
We can let them destroy our people's only hope.
Uncle Fester.
We have to act fast. The fate of the galaxy rests on our shoulders.
Freakazoid.
I'll protect the plains. You all take care of the pharmacites.
The grain farmers' battles with the farmers were relentless, but they never gave up. They knew that the fate of Dabazon 3 and the cannabis plant was at stake, and they couldn't let the pharmacists win. They fought with all their might, and the pharmacists were caught off guard by the grain farmers' determination and unique abilities. Chapter 4. The fight for Dabazon 3. The fight for Dabazon 3 was a long and difficult one, but the great sight of their goal. They knew that the cannabis plant had the power to change the course of history for the better, and they were determined to protect it. The pharmacists, however, were not going to give up without a fight. They had invested too much into their plans for Dabazon 3 and were willing to do whatever it takes to control the planet and its precious herb. They launched a full-scale attack on the grain farming, and the battle became more intense than ever before. Jawbreaker, with his fire-breathing abilities, destroyed multiple pharmacite ships and weapons. Igor, with his immense strength, took on entire squadrons of pharmacite soldiers at once. Pubd, with her stealth and combat skills, took out the pharmacite leaders and disrupted their operations. Flow Cakes, with her deadly accuracy, took out the pharmacite's weapons from a distance. Uncle Fester, using his time-traveling abilities to gather information from the past and future to aid in the fight, and Freakazoid would use his extraordinary powers to protect the farm and the plants. The grain farming fought bravely and fiercely, but the pharmacites were relentless. The battles were intense and brutal, but the grain farming was determined to protect their home and the cannabis plant. They used their unique skills and abilities to their advantage, striking at the pharmacites from all sides. Chapter 5. Victory. Despite the pharmacites' relentless attacks, the grain farming emerged victorious. The pharmacites and saved Dabazon 3 and the cannabis plant. The grain farming had proven that their love for the cannabis plant was stronger than any weapon. As they celebrated their victory, they were filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment. They had not only saved their home, but had also shown the galaxy the true power of the cannabis plant. They had protected the cannabis plant and ensured that it would help others in the galaxy. The pharmacites, defeated and captured, were brought before the grain farming. Jawbreaker, in a powerful speech, declared that they would be given the chance to learn about the benefits of the cannabis plant, and that they would be given the opportunity to join the grain farming in their mission to educate others about the cannabis plant. Some of the farmer sites accepted the offer, others refused, but all were sent back to their own planet with the knowledge of the benefits of the cannabis plant. Chapter 6, We're Building a Legacy. With the farmer sites defeated, the grain farmers set to work rebuilding Dabazon 3. They worked tirelessly to restore the planet and the cannabis fields. They knew that they had to protect the cannabis plant, so they built a state-of-the-art facility to house the plants and keep them safe. The grain farmers' efforts did not go unnoticed. Soon other intelligent life forms began to seek their knowledge and expertise on cannabis. The grain farming began to educate other civilizations about the benefits of the cannabis plant and how to protect it. They began to share their techniques for growing and harvesting the plant, as well as their knowledge of the plant's medicinal properties. They also shared their experience in fighting against the farmicides and how they were able to protect their home and the cannabis plant. The grain farmers' legacy spread throughout the galaxy, and they became known as the protectors of the cannabis plant. They were invited to other planets to teach and share their knowledge, and their reputation as the leaders in cannabis education and protection grew. As they looked out at Dabazon 3, now thriving and peaceful once more, the grain farming knew that their mission was far from over. They would continue to educate and protect the cannabis plant, ensuring that its benefits would be available to all intelligent life forms in the galaxy. They had changed the course of history for the better, and the cannabis plant would be protected for generations to come. Chapter 7, The Hero Packs Campaign. With Dabazon 3 secure and thriving, the grain farming began to look beyond their own planet. They knew that there were other intelligent life forms in the galaxy who were suffering under the oppression of the farmicides and other similar organizations. They knew that they had a duty to share their knowledge and experience in protecting the cannabis plant, and so they began the Hero Packs campaign. The Hero Packs campaign was a mission to bring the grain farmers learned education in planetary cannabis genetics, called Hero Packs to other planets in order to liberate those planets and their inhabitants. The Hero Packs were specially designed packages of cannabis seeds and knowledge created by the grain farming and Uncle Fester that would allow other civilizations to grow and protect their own cannabis plants. Jawbreaker, Hygor, Club D, Flowcakes, Uncle Fester, and Freakazoid, along with the former farmicides who joined them, traveled to different planets, spreading their knowledge in Hero Packs. They faced many challenges, but they never gave up. They knew that they had the power to change the fate of these planets and the people living on them. As they traveled from planet to planet, the grain farming encountered many different intelligent life forms, each with their own unique challenges and obstacles. But with their knowledge, skills, and Hero Packs, they were able to help these civilizations grow and protect their own cannabis plants. They also shared their experience in fighting against the farmicides and other similar organizations and helped these civilizations to form their own grain farming groups to protect their own planets. However, the grain farming knew that their fight was never. The farmicides and other similar organizations would always be a threat to the cannabis plant and the intelligent life forms that depended on it. So, the grain farming made a pledge to continue their Hero Packs campaign and to protect all planets and their inhabitants from the threat of the farmicides and other similar organizations. They knew that the fight for the cannabis plant and the protection of planets would be ongoing and never-ending, but they were determined to save every planet and their inhabitants from the danger that the farmicides pose. With their knowledge, skills, and Hero Packs, the grain farming would continue to travel the galaxy, spreading the benefits of the cannabis plant and fighting for the protection of all planets and their inhabitants.
All right, remove that. There you guys go. So, if you missed the show, thanks for just joining in here, Munchies. What's going on is we were finishing up Dabazon, and we're ending the show. But if you missed it, definitely worth listening to. You do now have a Twitter account, so at Glassy Music, at Glassy Music is the guest. You'll probably want to go listen to this one, Munchie. But much love, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed Dabazon 3 as much as I did making it. And I look forward to releasing the next 6 books that are already written and the future of the new books written of the collaboration and further development within the Can Planets. Yeah, it's all such wonderful things. So thank you for joining. See you on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, MK Potcast, Michael Kamp. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, guys, we do grow stronger together, even if my eyes are really, really red. I look crazy tired. I've been up smoking now for 8 hours. So I'm going to hop off here, go on Twitter, join a space for 420 somewhere, do a bong rip, make people laugh and smile. Hop on spatial.io. Check out the Mega City, guys. It's something I've been building with another builder, and then it's building within for the community. And now we have a playground that you can access through your phone or Oculus or whatever, and come hang out. I'll be in there. You can talk to me, listen to music, see the crazy shit that we built, go on a spaceship ride. Like, it's fucking wild, guys. I've been hearing, I mean, that was the goal, but I've been hearing it has a feel of Grand Theft Auto, but they've been saying GTA. So I think we hit the nail on the head, and hope to see you guys there. A lot of these spaces and energy and effort is going to be placed in the algorithms and platforms that accept it. So if you missed the beginning of the show, things are about to shift. Please do. You'll get to experience some promotion levels. Fucking Dave has got an Oculus and is going to be there tonight. Yeah, I think we might be starting the scavenger hunt for the Trogs tonight, Dave. Huge things happening, guys. Huge things happening. Get Twitter. Honeycomb Hydro. I'm just telling you, and you're going to miss out on a lot if you don't. If this doesn't, on the, let's see, I'm going to go back to Pheno Wolf here. He said, is this an NFT show? It's much more, and yeah, it'll be on a level of application and case uses through the impact and what we're doing in the world. Too much to talk about in our recordings. So come to Twitter. So much stuff happens there, regardless of how crappy it may be, and a new platform coming soon. So get in the habit of shifting into a new technology, because time's changing. Tech is here, and it's changing with the implementation of AIs at a degree that 3 months from now, something you guys do not know about, or may know a little, think you know a lot, it's going to be a completely different terraform in everything, because AI is that powerful. So if you want to learn about that stuff, come to Twitter and Spaces every single morning, 6 to 8 a.m. Doing AI. We're going to be doing a special feature of AI and cannabis on Sundays. All of that stuff, guys, is happening in Twitter. So much love and cheers. 420 coming in 2 minutes, guys. Go smoke with someone you love. Cheers.